Okay, good.
Hello, good evening. My name is Jamal Childs, and this is Mr.
Chad McGowan, how you doing?
And right now, what we're doing is putting together a about YouTube program about the Veterans Administration, and the name of the program is Veterans Broken Voices: The Octopus. The VA is an octopus that is telling lies, and there's millions of octopuses with tentacles all over the place telling lies. So at this present time, what we want to do is disclose some things that veterans don't understand about the Veterans Administration and help the veterans and their families in the United States have a better understanding of how to address the VA when it comes to benefits and entitlements and things of that nature. So Mr. Chad will elaborate more about certain situations, maybe in his own situation.
So when a creature is coming at you with many hands, you have to have tactics. You have to have a group to try and grab each one of those tentacles and control it. Not to have mastery, but if you're dealing with an octopus that doesn't understand that you're just trying to eat, you're just trying to live, you're just trying to get healed, you're trying to have some type of comfort from the pain that you've endured, from whatever you've been through, the more hands we have to grab onto this thing, the better off we'll be. And that's one veteran helping, educating, sharing knowledge with another veteran so that we can try to figure or hold this octopus down or let this octopus stop multiplying. Like we said, it's a whole bunch of lies, tactics that the VA will use to try to get us from being able to have access to entitlements that were already set up for us to take advantage of, like the many stories this man tells me about that are just heartbreaking, that after we've sat there and served the country, to the fact that we're 18 years old and don't realize we're not necessarily coming back. A flag might be coming back to represent me and greet my family. Then I shouldn't have to fight you over anything, really.
Well, you should have to fight over entitlements. Well, if you know you got injuries occurred in military service, you've been in combat, or you have military sexual trauma, which is really rape to a degree. You know, they say it's military sexual trauma. You shouldn't have to fight the Veterans Administration across the United States for entitlements and benefits when, you know, your whole body was in the military, not half of it. And then, you know, these people coming back home, they act like, well, you wasn't over there. That never happened. Repeat that again. Could you say that to me again? You gotta say the same thing over and over again. So we advocate that people, veterans or people and their families, advocate for themselves. It's good service reps in the VA and it's bad service reps in the VA. We don't have time to figure out who's good, who's bad, who's this, who's that, and all that stuff like that. So we were empowering people to advocate for themselves because the bureaucracy is crazy. United States Congress, House of Representatives, and all these different entities are supposed to be helping veterans across the United States is really not helping nobody. I'm proof in the pudding. I have 27 years of active addiction to alcohol. I didn't even know I had a mental disorder. I didn't even know that I was a veteran when I went to the VA hospital. Furthermore, I didn't go to the VA. Somebody came and got me. So 2 Marines hand carried me basically through the VA system, benefits administration and health administration, to get me to the point to make this video. And we have a video on YouTube in a graveyard. You pull up Jamal Childs on YouTube and you will see that video of me in a graveyard in Baltimore, Maryland, talking about how it feels to see all these tombstones. And I don't even know if these people got their entitlements before they pass or not. So Mr. Chad can elaborate on that a little bit more.
So it's rows. This is an experience. You should go. Television isn't enough. Rows and rows of marble headstones. Rows as far as you can see. State to state, city to city, country to country. That's the sacrifice so that I can go to Starbucks and Walmart or wherever we go and not really, realize how good we have it in this country. You have it good in this country because there's a body underneath of each one of those markers. Some of them in pieces, some of them is just a tombstone because it may not have been enough to bring back. Friendly fire, whatever fire, there was a body, there's a reason why You're driving what you're driving. You're eating what you're eating. We can sit there and whine about red, blue politics, this, that, and the third. Well, no matter what you're griping about, there's a body that's making that happen, and it's not the elite. The elite might sit there and make the contract with whatever country, but the physical body, whether it be black, white, blue, or green, is us. So the tactics that an octopus uses, one, an octopus, as we've recently discovered, is an extremely intelligent creature, such as they use a jar and put a piece of food into the jar. The octopus will figure out how to get that food out, except that jar is me, and what they're doing is they're taking food out of my mouth, because the octopus, even though it's intelligent, it's still a creature that doesn't understand that without others, they don't even exist. The same government that will put me on a front line to get shot fights me over crutches or creams. It's the people that they put inside the system that are fat, happy calves for the most part. They're getting that check, so they're not really worried about whether or not you're getting service. Or they've seen so many Chads, they're disheartened. I'm just another person today, Monday. It's like basically saying insensitive, and nobody has to tell you, just like police, Black Lives Matter, whatever. We're not talking about all VA workers. We're not talking about all cops. But the ones that make them bad, both parties, man, they make them really bad.
And I want to elaborate on this. This is two former alcoholics,
Yeah.
drug addicts, the worst of the worst. And with the grace of God, we have been able to achieve certain goals in the Veteran Administration. And I don't feel good at all. I was broken, man, when I came in the VA, and I'm broken right now because my brothers and sisters, comrades, battle buddies, wounded warriors, and veterans alike are not receiving the rightful entitlements. They don't have a billboard on the side of a highway, veterans this and veterans that. You'll never see on a cab in New York on the side of HUD vest for veterans. You'll never go to a movie theater and see on the screen saying, well, these entitlements are for veterans, and we'll flock to this little town in Kentucky and let's do the paperwork and take care of the people. Most of these veterans across the United States are living below the poverty level, and it's ridiculous. And I was sitting up there saying to myself, I have lived my life, and I'm at peace and at peace with God. I'm living the prayer I prayed. I fear nothing but God. So, this is the real reason we're making this video, this podcast, and a host of other things. We're getting a little bit older.
Just starting up.
We're not going to be here forever. So, this is the voice. Veterans Chronicle, #1, Octopus is the VA. Veterans Broken Voices is the campaign. And that's what we're saying. Veterans Broken Voices, the Octopus. And we're trying to help people. These millions and millions of octopuses all across the country and all these 1,800 facilities of the VA telling lies. We have to be advocates for ourselves and do our own research. It's good people in the VA. Applaud to you. Maybe in the VFW, Purple Heart, American Legion, paralyzed veterans. But at the end of the day, it's going to fall on us. 22 veterans try to commit suicide, attempt to commit suicide, or commit suicide every day. Now, why is that? Why would they have so many VA facilities if it wasn't that we are problematic people? I don't understand that. And then at the end of the day, I feel like that I'm obligated to a degree, or more so, I'm just obligated to tell the damn truth. So, if the liquor didn't kill me, so be it. I fear nothing but God, and Mr. Chad can close this out.
So we appreciate you giving us ear. And we're thankful that, like we just expressed, that we're both here. And to see all of those tombstones lined up, and just imagining those are people over hundreds and hundreds of years that may have got their benefits. It's not all about benefits. We did our part. You 18 years old, you coming out of high school, you want to serve your country. You're not thinking about, let's do this as a tactical job. You're thinking about giving your country your all. And a lot of those people under those markers gave it. They didn't get to my age, and now I gotta, maybe a lot of their constituents are still alive. We see them in the VA all the time. The horror stories, you have your own. The millions of thousands I've heard just introducing myself to this man over the last year. It's ridiculous. The stories I could tell you about my own personal experiences where you're dealing with an entity that, an octopus, as intelligent is acting like a beast, a creature, versus helping you after you've gave everything you possibly can, your back. Maybe you no longer have sexual desires because your mind's broken, so that's broken. Your children aren't seeing what they could be seeing. Your wife, your husband may not be dealing with the person all that they could be because their mind, their body is wounded because they gave for their country so that we can sit there and argue at Walmart over parking spaces. You know, that's the meat and the potatoes of what I'm going to be expressing. This man has the tactile mental function of how you wrestle something with 8 arms and you only got 2, and unlimited resources to fight you after you fought 4. So we both appreciate your time. We thank you, and this is one of many.
Remember, Jamal Charles YouTube graveyard filming of what's really real. And, you know, a lot of people can't accept what's real is. So thank you for your service, and may God bless you.